Phrasing of a treaty. In a recent letter, A.W. Williamson says it is untrue that President John Adams in 1797 signed a treaty with Tripoli, which states that the government of the United States is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion. Mr. Williamson knows this, he says, because he has inspected the treaty at the Archives building. This treaty was formulated by President George Washington in 1796 and ratified by 2/3 of the Senate in 1797. The provisions under the discussion is found under these articles of Treaty of Tripoli, as the government of the United States of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion, as it has in itself no character of enmity against the laws, religion, or tranquility of Muslims. And as the said states never have entered into any war or act of hostility against any Mohammedan nation, it is declared by the parties that no pretext arising from religious opinion shall ever produce an interruption of the harmony existing between the two countries. The various claims of contemporary theologians that this country was founded on the Christian religion is just not borne out. That means there's no proof of it, as it was these very same founders who framed and ratified the articles in the treaty. The immigration from the New England states to the western parts of this state are truly astounding. And what is worthy of particular remark, these immigrants appear all in tolerant circumstances, and most of them go to settle a new and fertile country with every article of necessary household, furniture, farming, utensils, etc. The Indians settled at Brothertown in Herkimer County, we are told, have sent a petition to the legislature praying to be put on the footing of free white citizens, except that they do not wish the privilege of selling their lands. They state as reasons for being admitted as free citizens that they have been brought up in civilized life, the Christian religion. Many of the Indians settled at Brothertown can read and write, and some of them speak English language with no small degree of grammatical propriety. That's a beggar nation. Oh, please let us be of the peregrine white family. Oh, please let us. So the conclusion is peregrine white. We did the demonstration where the baby first born on the Mayflower, peregrine white. And now they're saying that in order for you to be white, you have to have a civilized life as far as protesting the Christian religion. And all the Indians, we got the other demonstrations where they had to go through the Christian church in order to register. They had to register with the Presbyterian church. And then once they did that, the Moorish schools will be turned into Indian schools. Our demonstration directly said the pilgrims they was running from King James of England. You know, that's Christian. That's the order of the cross. Peace and greetings. For all those who have stuck around, honors to you. Now you get a noble Juali key, Islam. The reason these lessons have not been known is because the Muslims of India, Egypt, and Palestine had these secrets and kept them back from the outside world. And when the time appointed by Allah, they loosened the keys and freed the secrets. And for the first time in ages have these secrets been delivered in the hands of the Muslims of America. All authority and rights of publishing of this pamphlet of 1927, brothers and sisters. So for the keys to get released to the outside world, brothers and sisters, someone from the outside world would have to go into India, Egypt, and Palestine. And this happened in what year, brothers and sisters? 1887. The High German, the book, the translation of the old dusty book. The man's name was Nicholas Notovich. He gave an account explaining how he went into the Buddhist monk's temple and ended up finding out that there was the lost years of Jesus in 1887. So while Noble Drew Ali was just born, within the first year of him being born, brothers and sisters, while he's just goggling around, there's a man walking into the temple about to get the lost years of Jesus, brothers and sisters. And that was 1887. By 1916, there was the 4th edition brought out, but there could be 1 million editions. The problem was it wasn't put into the hands of the Muslims. And he specifically says, the Buddhist monk said, I have ancient transcripts. So, of course, Noble Drew Ali didn't make it because it's the truth of Allah brought through the prophets. It was his mission to get it into the hands of the Muslims in America, brothers and sisters. That was the mission. It could have been next door in a bookstore, but Noble Drew Ali's a Moor. So you know he's not just going to take the flawed, watered-down transcriptions or transcripts. So he had the old High German book of Nicholas Notovich. So when I go through the document, immediately I see there was a woman that wanted to ask Jesus a question, and a man pushed her out the way to ask Jesus a question. At this point, an aged woman who had approached the group that she might better hear Esau was pushed aside by one of the men in disguise who placed himself before her. Esau then said, "It is not meet that a son should push aside his mother to occupy the first place which should be hers. Whosoever respecteth not his mother, the most sacred being next to Allah, is unworthy the name of son. Listen therefore to what I am about to say. Respect woman, for she is the mother of the universe, and all the truth of divine creation dwells within her, brothers and sisters, and that's humanity, Islam, the noble Drew Ali. She is the basis of all that is good and beautiful, and she is also the germ of life and death. On her depends the entire existence of man, for she is his mental, for she is his moral and natural support in all his works. She gives you birth, and amid sufferings by the sweat of her own brow, she watches over your growth. Until her death, you cause her the most intense anguish. Bless her and adore her, for she is your only friend and support upon earth. Respect her, protect her. In doing this, you will win her love in her heart, and you will be pleasing to Allah, for this shall many of your sins be remitted. Therefore, love your wives and respect them, for tomorrow they shall be mothers and later grandmothers of a whole nation. You hear that? Of a whole nation. So we're going through this, brothers and sisters. So this cuts away all the Levi Dowling stuff, him trying to be some mystic that had Akashic records. No, this is ancient manuscripts that came from the prophets of Allah. So Levi Dowling didn't really lie, because they did come from the Akashic records, but his reputation is tarnished because he didn't give the source of it. He tried to be the mystic head. And Noble Drew Ali put it in the hands of the Muslims. That was his mission, not to be the first or whatever. But like I said, you see where it says God, that's where it said Allah originally. So this is the watered down, but some of it is very potent. It has the ethers of truth. I know what it smells. I know what truth smells, feels, tastes like. I know what it is. And this definitely has it in it. But Noble Drew Ali had the most potent parts that needed to be put, because again, this was released in 1887. That's when that man went to them Buddhist monks. So this was a direct divine plan from Allah, and this is direct proof. 87, and then for exactly 40 years. 1927 is when he put this in the hands of the Muslim. So exactly 40 years. He was meant to do this. Islam, brothers and sisters. But why did he focus on Jesus? Because when he came to his people and tried to speak to them spiritual, that's all they had to say is Jesus, 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 Jesus. So he said, let me see this book you got. When he looks at the book, I know you love this Jesus, but you only have a few statements of him buried in the avalanche of other people's writings. You only have a few years of his life. So if you say you love this Jesus, he's our bloodline anyway and a prophet of the truth. So I'm going to go get his stuff. But you said you loved him. So I'm going to go get all of his stuff, which I know aligns with what I'm trying to get you aligned with. So if you love him, then you're going to study this truth. So you want to love Jesus? All right, I'm going to show you who Jesus is. And it was exactly who he was trying to get him to be anyway. It aligns because he's a prophet of the bloodline. It's all universal. So he went and got the stuff for him and brought it back, and then directly told him, now you said you love Jesus, so here's all his stuff, so study it. And then they just showed. They think that they go to church, whoever has the biggest hat has the biggest love for Jesus. So that's why all of them fell off, because they really didn't love Jesus and they didn't love the truth. But to the few, honors to all of you. But ain't nobody going to tell me that Noble Drew Ali ain't my prophet. Nobody is going to tell me that, because every day his love and his respect in me grows. Because this Circle 7, it's a little book, but it has millions of combinations. If you take the time to study, you'll find the combination number. Then you can unlock it into million chambers of gnosis, brothers and sisters. You better take heed and watch every sentence, word that he put down, because it unlocks into millions of gnosises of chambers, brothers and sisters.